What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We are in the Blackstone Labs gym, and I'm here with former president of Blackstone Labs, PJ Braun, the man, the myth, and the legend. And we're gonna show you some leg exercises, and in particular quads. And we're gonna show you 3 different positions on 2 different pieces of machinery that are gonna blow your minds. So let's get into it.
All right, so I did this reel the other day. Funny though, because there was a guy in the reel that was like, your quads are not big, so why should we listen to you? I was like, my quads are huge.
They're so big.
The only thing that I didn't lose.
Maybe bad camera?
Yeah, I was like, okay. Regardless though, whether my legs were big or not, it doesn't mean I don't understand the function of the muscle. So I want to show you guys the importance of the hip positioning when you really want to change the stress of this exercise, right? So I often hear people talk about the toe positioning, where your toe and your foot is really just going to be in line with your knee, which is going to be in line with your hip. So we're going to start here. Think here first. So for example, if I want to target more of this outside part of the quadricep, right? People say, well, if you want to hit the outside, just turn your toes in more, but that's incorrect. They've got the right idea, but you're actually focusing on internally rotating your hips in. Mm-hmm. So I'm so tight that just when I start to internally rotate my hips, I can already feel it right here. Mm-hmm. So when you're engaged here, now as you squeeze and contract up and you feel everything flow down, you'll notice that the stress changes quite a bit. Now if I wanted to...
And when you just stopped, you could see your hips change positions.
Yeah. So now, right, I'm going to externally rotate my hips a little bit, right? So I'm going to sit in here with my hips opened up. And my knees are going to be a little wider. And now, with that external rotation, I can feel it totally different through here now, versus if I rotate back in, now I feel the stress more through here. Now, if you wanted to just focus on doing it the good old-fashioned way, you're just going to sit in here completely straight and just concentrate on squeezing, but you're still focusing on all the way up here in your hips. So keep yourself hitched back, leaning back against the pad, lock yourself in. I see people lifting their butts off of this in the lower back. That's going to also take your hips out of it. So think here first, locked in, full extension. So we'll focus on the internal rotation first.
So normal.
So I want you to think from squeezing in this way first, yep. And you'll see even from this, you don't even have to really focus too much on turning your toes in too much, because you're going to be turned from here anyway.
Yeah, I could feel, it's like that mind muscle connection too.
But if you were to then let everything open up from here, like this, let your knees track out more, your toes are just going to follow your knees. It shifts everything to where you feel more of the focus through here.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
It's just small tips of execution where you can take a simple machine and get a lot more out of it. You can take an exercise that's already a good exercise and enhance what you're getting out of that exercise.
And then neutral.
Neutral.
You can actually see in the quad where it hits different.
Yeah, the seat's back a little bit farther for where you would need it, but
yeah, I just holding myself down.
For the sake of the video, you'll still, I'm not overloading you with weight.
Yeah.
Which is a good point, actually, since we're filming.
Yeah.
So this particular leg extension, the back pad is broken, but I kind of had it broken where I want it anyway, so it's fine for me. Now, what you want to do when you're doing a leg extension is you actually want this to be sitting comfortably right behind your knee. So in her case, because the back of it was too far back, you could actually see this was too far forward. So when she was coming down, her leg almost had to kind of round around the top of it. You don't want that. So if anything, it'd be better for her if she had a little bit of space here. You can see how it's nice and snug for me. This is just protecting the muscle and getting the full range of motion.
Right.
So when you set the pad, make sure you set it where you're getting this full range of motion through here like this, and you're not getting stuck at the edge of the seat. Same method as far as hip placement goes. We're going to do some squats. It is much easier when you're playing around with your hip placement, especially if it's not something that you've done before, to do it on the Smith machine, although you could do anything that we're about to do with free weights also. For the sake of this video, we're just gonna stick to doing it on the Smith machine. It's gonna be easy, cut down the risk of injury. But again, when we're doing the squat, internal rotation of the hip, right? So by taking a closer stance like this, and I really love, we don't have a hack squat in this gym. It's great to do this on a hack squat. You can really like lock yourself in when you got your back pressed against something. But we're gonna come in here, right? And when she's in here, again, we're starting at the hips, keeping the hip internally rotated in, and it's gonna stay there as she goes down, right? Then when we try, just like on the leg extension, to open her hips up, right? So we're gonna open the stance up, open the hips up. Now, when she squats with the hip in this externally rotated position, her knees are gonna track out with it, and she'll go and feel it in a completely different way. The internal positioning at the top, again, you're gonna feel primarily more through the quad, whereas an external rotation, you're actually gonna start feeling more in the adductors. Just a good way to get multiple angles in. So this would be a real quadricep focused version of the squat. Kind of taking out the adductors a little bit more. Now the full range of motion, you're still working the glutes and everything else as well, but you're really focusing a lot through just a traditional pure quad exercises where opened up now, letting the knees come out, letting your hips open more, you're gonna be able to engage more of the adductors. You will fire the glutes and hams a little bit more through the bottom. And you'll be able to get, because of that stance, you'll be able to get more recruitment through the glutes, and it turns it into a little bit more slightly glute focused version.
You actually see them turn on, like in here, especially at the bottom. You can see all of it.
This is when you see people doing like sumo squats or dumbbell plie squats. That positioning really stimulates through here quite a bit versus the toe straight or the internal rotation, which you're going to feel primarily through, you know, the knee flexion up, quadricep execution. All
right, so just so you guys can see this, so from me facing forward, when I squat and I was in that, you know, toes in, very neutral position, I'm here, so it's very quad intensive is what PJ was saying. And then if you turn, almost like your feet are on dinner plates, and you turn out, you could see everything engaged. My toes are externally rotating. I'm barely even moving my feet. And when I come down and back up, all of this is starting to engage. And that's without a Smith machine, that's no dumbbells, and it's just externally rotation. It's just a little rotation in your feet, makes a huge difference.
And even though it's the same exercise, you're just changing the stress of where the focus is in that exercise, and you can do both ways.
And that being said, if you had only dumbbells to use, you can do what's called a suitcase squat, where your dumbbells at the side here, it's gonna be quad intensive, and then you could change your positioning, hold the dumbbells in front of you, and you have more of a sumo squat where you're gonna hit the internal rotation as well. So, a couple different variations, all in the hips, really.
It's all in the hips.
It's all in the head. Yeah, it's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. Get off of me.
It's always all in the hips. I hope you guys like this video. Again, watch it and then go hit leg day. And we will see you guys next time.